Hey neighbor, here we are in November. Let's walk around the garden, show you what all we got going on. We got a wonderful crop of brassicas coming along. We've got some seed harvesting going on with the Roselle. We're fixing to do some more planting. Let me show you some winners and some losers in our fall garden. A huge win, folks, is our lazy garden kit, as you can see right here. I want you to look at how much we got growing on this 15 by 30 area right here. No weeds whatsoever, and we've done very little to this after we planted this. So this thing's been on autopilot and it's easy. That's the reason we call it lazy garden kit here. We've got all kind of things growing. We've done harvested collards out of here a couple of times and they're ready to be harvested again. It's been a great year for our brassicas. We've had very little insect pressure this fall. The hurricane run through here, and I don't know if it blew all the worms to South America or what, but we've only sprayed this thing once or twice, so our insect pressure has been nearly non-existent, which has been good because normally in the fall of the year we have a lot of problem with worms, but we've had very little problem. Great harvest coming up for Thanksgiving next week here, and we just been absolutely amazed at how stuff has grown off. But I'm going to show you here a good comparison of what happens when you don't get your fertility right. You see this row of cabbage right here? Well, what happened was when we put this lazy garden kit, we didn't get our complete organic and compost worked all the way out to the edge. Both of these two plants right here were planted at the exact same time, same exact variety. The only difference is we didn't get our complete organic incorporated this far out. And I want you to look and see what a difference that makes. You know, one thing with these brassicas, especially cabbages, people don't understand is the amount of fertility they take. To grow a big head of cabbage, you got to feed that cabbage well. And just look at the difference there. Now, I think I've supplemented fertilizer here maybe one time since they've been planted, but that complete organic as a pre-plant makes a huge difference. And right here is just evidence of that. Well, you probably know I'm a huge fan of Green Magic broccoli. And this one right here is not disappointed this year. We got some of the prettiest broccoli we ever had. Now, I've grown Green Magic more than I have any other variety. I'm probably not going to grow Green Magic anymore for the next couple of years simply because I need to try out some of these newer varieties. There are some newer varieties out there that's really doing well, and I will probably switch over and grow those just to get a comparison of how they stack up against the Green Magic. I think the Green Magic is a wonderful variety. These others may be a tad better, but we will see. We got a little bit of something chewing on the leaves here, but look at those heads coming out there. We got big old green healthy leaves there, and we're gonna have one heck of a broccoli harvest in just a few days. Same thing with my Stonehead Cabbage. They're doing wonderful right here. Probably going to switch over and start using some more different varieties of Stoneheads in the future there. I think there may be some that may be better suited for here in the South. Stonehead does wonderful, has done great here. I love the variety, but we're always looking for something better. You'd be amazed how much lettuce we have cut off this little bitty raised bed here. But time has come for us to flip it and move on to something else here. But we have really enjoyed lettuces. We got some more coming along. We're going to try to have a good supply of lettuce going on all winter long. But just a raised bed like this right here can feed at least 2 families. Now here's where I struggle a little bit here. Cauliflower is probably one of the hardest brassicas for me to grow in general, besides maybe Brussels sprouts. And the reason for Brussels sprouts is they take so long. But I tend to have a little bit harder problem with keeping my plants healthy on my cauliflower than I do anything else. I talked to some commercial guys and they have the same issue, so it makes me feel a little bit better. But I've got more disease showing up on my twister cauliflower than I have anything else. Now that being said, I think I'm gonna make a decent crop, don't get me wrong. These twisters will twist up, protect that head, which we really like. But my leaves just not quite as pretty as what I would prefer them to be. Some of you guys may not like collards. I understand. We love them here at our house. 2 rows of top bunch right here. Doesn't look like a lot of collards, but man, we've done eat off these twice and they're ready to harvest again. Just a little bit of this top bunch collards here, and man, ain't they pretty. Let me just show you this leaf. Just a few plants of these right here will give you enough for a great meal. Put you a little oxtail or some pork chops or something in there to kind of season them up. Ooh, that's some good eating to me. All right, our multiplying onions are doing good. good. I got a few bubbling onions planted. I still got to plant some more. Elephant garlic is doing great. 100% stand on those right there. Now, one thing that we find with these onions and elephant garlic and some of the other things this time of year is we really have to fight the weeds hard. So we have to come in here with the wheel hoe about once a week to keep these things clean and work in between these plants here with our single tine cultivator. It's really important to stay on top of your weed control, because I'm gonna tell you what, it can get out of control on you on these onions in a heartbeat. So it's something that we go through there and weed pretty often. Try to keep them as clean as we can. Savana Mustard, it's time for us to start eating those. We'll probably harvest some in the next day or two. This right here is one of those mild tasting mustards that we love here. We've got a good stand down there doing well. I want you to look at this leaf right here. Now this is a clear indication it needs a little bit more fertilizer. I would like for this green to be, this leaf to be a little bit greener than what it is. You see how I'm getting some of that yellow mottling in there? That's an indication that I need to hit these with a little more fertilizer. I call these my hurricane peas. Planted these before the hurricane come through, and I was really concerned they was gonna make it. They did make it. A little bit more weedier than what I would like to have, but I'm gonna tell y'all what, this top pick pink eye has made this fall. We have picked these things about 5 times, and I cannot tell you how many buckets of peas we have got off this 60 by 30 area right here. It's unbelievable how much they have produced. Now they're about over with. We may have another picking or so to come through here and scrap up a little bit, but man, these things have performed this fall. I won't never grow another cow pea in the spring. I think growing them in the fall of the year is the cat's meow. I've not seen the first sting on these peas here, and I've sprayed them about twice. They've done really good. It's not been too hot out here picking them because the weather's cooled down. They have performed extremely well, and this is one of my top varieties for peas because I like pink eyes. When you cook these up, these make a clear broth, not a dark broth, a clear broth. They're real tasty, but hence the name top pick. They load up on top and they're easy to pick. All right, a huge win for us this year was this St. Kitts Roselle. If you watched many of our videos before, you've heard me and Mama Halls talk about Roselle a lot. This new variety right here, St. Kitts, that we did not have seeds for this year, but we did send out some free seed packs. So if you was one of the ones that got our free seed packs and you grew out this St. Kitts Roselle, you need to save your seeds. You need to harvest your seeds. We've got 2 big plots here. We're going to harvest the seeds off of, and I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, as your calyxes start maturing out here, they will start closing up just a little bit. They'll get wide open when it's time to harvest the calyxes. But after that, when we get into seed saving, we want to start letting that calyx close back up a little bit. And if you can see this right here, this is an ideal time to harvest the seed pod there. You see how it's starting to crack in there? If we harvest these things too soon, we're going to get a white seed, which is not viable. We want that seed black. We want to be able to dry it out a little bit. Now, one thing I think you need to do is you need to probably clip these things off because they're hard to pick. Let's see right here what this looks like. All right. Timing's really important there because if this thing pops up, we're going to lose our seeds. But see how it's starting to turn dark in there? We push that open. That's the ideal time for us to go in there and harvest those seeds. We want those seeds black. Now we want to harvest those out. We want to spread them out and let them dry good. But those right there are going to be some good, viable seeds. Now this is the stage you don't want to harvest them at, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. See there? That seed pod has not started turning there yet. And if we bust that up, which is going to be really hard to do, see how those seeds are white? That's not what we want. We want those seeds black. All right, not all heirlooms are a win for me, but this one right here is I've grown this one time before. We're having a seed crop of these grown out now, so we can have some for sale later on. This is Alabama blue collard. It has a blue stem there. You can see in the leaves there it has those blue veins. This is a great variety here. It's got really unique flavor to it, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm excited about this. I'm gonna follow up with this variety behind my top chop there. My top bunch there. To have another crop of collards coming along. So there you have it there. I want to see if you can get a close-up of these right here. These things are absolutely beautiful. Alabama blue collards. So we'll finish up planting our bulb and onions probably this week here. We got a couple of new varieties we're trialing out this year. November, December is a perfect time for you guys to plant those big bulb and onions if you live in the South, those short day varieties. But folks, if you're not gardening in the fall, growing you some greens and growing you some onions and things like that, enjoying this pretty weather and these perfect growing conditions, you're missing out. And if you don't have much room or you got limited resources, this lazy garden kit here is the perfect tool to use.